Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of that Bible in order to put together the prophecy of Israel from the books of the prophecy. I wrote it in Bible verse, so it's completely written by the prophets themselves, which is why I had to write the Potsmoker's Bible as a commentary to it, so that I could legally publish the prophecy of Israel, which I called the Book of Zion. Now, I've been reading to you from the Potsmoker's Bible, and I'm on the 5th chapter. It's called The Lord Speaks, and I'm picking up where I left off, which was with Isaiah 29:13 and 14, which becomes Zion 3:8 and 9. Wherefore the Lord saith, Forasmuch as this people draw near to me with their mouths, and with their lips do honor me, but remove their hearts far from me, and their fear towards me is taught by the precepts of men, therefore behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Isaiah goes on with this passage with the theme of the false religious practices. He addresses the non-telepathic priests and their followers who use the sacred texts of Israel, but whose version of it is more for show than for content. We are told that these people perform lip service. They talk as if they are faithful, but their actions betray them. They claim to love God, but they reject the gray, the true God of Israel. We are informed that these false worshippers are getting their knowledge not from the telepathic communications of living gods, but by the imaginations of men. Their fear of God comes from their propaganda. Humans fear UFOs because we are taught to fear them. When the Grey refused to work with the governments of Earth on their terms, those governments turned on the Grey. They began a smear campaign to instill fear of the Grey into our population. Hollywood was encouraged to create aliens bent on enslavement and genocide, so that humanity would reject their aliens' presence. All of this, of course, was inevitable in light of the nature of our society. A society imagined in the absence of the gray, the necessary evil. This necessary evil is the result of our ancestors' own imaginations. They invented the concept of our modern God that led to our current worldview. In order to clarify the issue of the false faiths, the Grey have created the newer religions and the means to disprove them. This is to be seen as a marvelous work and a wonder, making fools of wise men and falsifying the facts taught by the non-telepathic priesthoods. Isaiah 41:20 and 21 becomes Zion 3:10 and 11. That they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord hath done this, and the Holy One of Israel hath created it. Produce your cause, saith the Lord. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Let them bring them forth, and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them, and the latter end of them, or declare us the things for to come. Isaiah 41:20 and 21 issues a challenge to the priests and to their religions. They are told to bring forth their proof, use their strong reasons to prove the truth of their claims. The Grey demand that the false priests, not the non-telepathic priests, predict what is about to happen. They must explain also what has already happened. This challenge is a demand of proof for all religious doctrines, verifying the false claims. The Grey also lay claim to Israel. They call themselves the King of Jacob. This reminder of Israel tells us that the false priests opposed the Jewish people, requiring the Grey to verify that the Jews are still and always the people chosen by the Grey. Therefore, the Jewish people are not the people who are challenged. The next passage is Isaiah 43, 8 and 9, and that becomes Zion 3, 12 and 13. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this, and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified, or let them hear and say that it is true. Isaiah expands on the challenge already issued. Now the Grey call out the blind and deaf people themselves. All are told to assemble. They ask the population at large for anyone able to explain and prove the accused's claims. They seek anyone who can meet their challenge. Or they say, let the world hear the Grey's side and be believed. Isaiah 46, 5 to 8. To whom will you liken me, and make me equal, and compare me, that we may be like? They lavish gold out of the bag, and weigh silver in the balance, and hire a goldsmith. He maketh it a god, and they fall down, yea, they worship. They bear him upon their shoulder, they carry him, and set him in his place. He shall not remove. Yea, one shall cry unto him, yet can he not answer, nor save him out of his trouble. Remember this, and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O transgressors. Now the Grey asked for a comparison between the human version of God and the reality of the Grey. Isaiah 46, 5 to 8 gives a description of the creation of an idol. This is telling us that the falsehood of the challenge is an idol. We are told clearly that the idol is an object that is bowed down to. It is a material object that cannot move on its own. It is carried to its place. It can't save anyone from anything, least of all from living gods. The Grey give these idol worshippers a new name, transgressors. The Christians are these transgressors. They are idol worshippers who transgress the true laws of Moses. They worship the cross. Isaiah 53, 8 to 12 is Zion 3, 18 to 22. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgressions of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked, and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was there any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. He shall see the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto his death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bore the sins of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. Isaiah 53, 8-12 tells the true tale of Jesus. He is a man misunderstood, who set in motion what is about to unfold. He was a man of sorrows, a man imprisoned for the cause of his people. He was martyred, his soul offered up for the sins of others. This passage is clearly about Jesus and the Christian mythology surrounding his life and death. For his pain and suffering, he is given a portion with the great. His true followers are to be forgiven. Those who are false shall be left behind. He is satisfied. His work is done. This passage will no doubt create a controversy within the Christian domain, as each sect argues the points. This will divide the church between the followers of Jesus, who is a prophet of the gray, and the followers of Paul and his sacrificial Christian figure. Zechariah 12, 23 and 24 is Zion 3, 24 and 25. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judea and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people, and all that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of earth be gathered together against it. So ends chapter 3 of the book of Zion. Now, Zechariah ends the chapter. This again is a reminder for the world that the nation of Israel is still the central to the Gray's agenda, but not for its good. Jerusalem is a place of battle, its streets awash with the blood of 3 warring faiths, all of which are destined to take a lesser role to Zion, the crowning jewel of the Gray's design. This burdensome stone that Jerusalem becomes is the cleansing of Israel as they prepare for their final redemption. This bloody city is in its final days of conflict, just as the Jews are returning to their rightful place as a nation, protected and chosen by the God, the Great. So ends chapter 5 of the Pot Smoker's Bible. God speaks, the Lord speaks, the Grays speak. They're telling us that, well, they're telling us Christianity is the main religion on the planet. It's the one dominating factor in the fight between truth in the Grays' reality, which is our reality, and the Christian lore, which says that Jesus Christ died for your sins and all is forgiven. And this is the fallacy that is set up, by the way. The idol Christ forgives you of all sins based on faith and faith alone, as opposed to the Essene way, which was the true way that Jesus was, which said that you had to purify yourself, you had to be pure, you had to be without sin, so that you could be worthy of God. And in my own way, that is exactly what I preach. Well, I don't preach because I'm not preaching. You can believe, you don't believe, I don't care. What I'm telling you is what I know from the good book, the Bible. This is what it teaches us. And this is what I'm telling you is going to happen. So may the Gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, and make that your life's goal. Stay happy and high if you use drugs. You have every right and reason to. And know that I love you. The Gray love you. We're standing by ready to help in this time of need. Just call upon us. That's all you have to do. Later. I'll never say goodbye.